always laugh. I always laugh when these start. It's not just nerves. I think it's hilarious that I do these videos. I try not to get too meta about this whole situation we're in. I'm up early. Coffee. I think in a few minutes, I'll head downstairs. We'll do some sitting in the workshop together. But I don't like going in the workshop if I'm wearing sweats. I don't like wearing sweatpants. Sweatpants are comfortable, but I don't feel comfortable when I'm wearing sweatpants. I pretty much wear the same dirty jeans every day until... No, I just wear the same dirty jeans every day. There is no until. I just keep wearing them. I never get impetigo. I never get skin diseases. So what's the problem? Denim. So I woke up at so yesterday was a cool day because I had a job to do, get in the car, travel, do a job. And on days like that, a lot of times I'll wake up super early. But yesterday I slept right till I needed to get up. Got up a couple hours before I left. Nice morning. Perfect. Good energy. Happy. Didn't feel like a crusty old man all day. So I work again today. Site a couple hours away. And boom, up at 2 a.m. Just can't sleep. Sometimes when I travel, I don't sleep the night before. I have so many stories about going to be traveling tomorrow and not being able to sleep. Just laying there either awake or getting up and killing time until it's time to go. And it's something I've come to embrace and accept, that my mind, I don't know, but so today I woke up to something, and you lay there and you're like, yo, can I get back to sleep or what? And I've done it for years where you have to figure out whether you're up or you're not up, so I decide, okay, well, looks like I'm up. So usually I'll get up and troll the social media feed and look and see what's going on. My social media feed is, I've got it dialed in to where it's massively, my social media is skateboarding. Oh, someone just joined me. It's awfully early in the morning for us to be up. I imagine that it could be that, who's on here? Let's see, your viewers. Guess you don't have any viewers yet. Well, it says I got 2 of you. Maybe you're gone. I would be gone too. I would be gone back to bed. Here in Cincinnati on Wednesday, February 24th, it is 4:34 a.m. I've been up for 2 hours. And I will be working until 7 o'clock tonight. Whatever, man. Can't sleep. Can sleep. What's the difference? So I woke up and I made a pot of coffee. And I must have been a scoop short. Did you ever have that? So I fixed it. I poured a bunch of it into a thermos. And heavy loaded for a few more cups of water. Boom. Fixed the pot. First time in my life. Fixed it. It's a happy day. But yeah, yesterday I thought I had crossed a mile marker, that I wouldn't wake up super early on the days when I'm working these jobs. But it looks like that was not meant to be, because here we are. So been up here doing this, and I thought maybe other time zones are up, maybe other people are up, who knows? But I'm filtering through my social media feed here, enjoying looking at pictures. Here's Sean Huff in the All Extreme community. And I found some more footage of Preciado Morales. That was awesome. Yeah, so I am just up saying hi, wondering how everybody's doing. And why don't we go down to the basement? Let's go. Let me pour a fresh cup of coffee here. Let's go down into the workshop for a second. And let's have a chat. Let's chat. Go down here in the basement. I haven't been down here since the day before yesterday because I went and did that signage job. Signage is interesting because it's retail. Any of you guys work in retail? What I noticed about the signage in retail, this last couple of years I've been doing these jobs, and you go out and do an install of a bunch of signage, and going down the staircase here with me. Thanks for being with me. You might be listening to this some other day because it's 4 o'clock in the morning in Cincinnati, 4:30. But the thing about the retail work is every time I'm out there, I have this apocalyptic consideration of like, so how long will it be until like some of the stuff that's going on hits, like inflation or something. I don't know. I try to listen to the news and I'm a cool guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a pretty swell guy. I try to listen to the news. I try to keep up with the news. But when people start talking about inflation, I get kooky. I get wacky. I don't understand the finer points of geopolitical hoo-ha. Probably just like most people, I've tried to follow what's going on and understand trends from my perspective, and there's a certain futility to tracking current events. Feels like it's difficult to know what's going on. A lot of voices out there that are moving things around, shell gaming us, bait and switching us, getting us all fired up for things that aren't really worth the fire, trying to get us to burn down the house. I don't know. I have some concerns that have developed through listening to different media and things like that. And then I see people in real time. That's an important thing. And when I see people in real time, I wind up being less concerned about those giant big things. I care about certain things very much and am dependable to, I'm good at conversation about certain things, but mostly I just want to learn more. That's my big angle. That's my axe to grind, my bias is I want to learn more. So, it's easy. It's hard for me to feel enough certitude about anything going on in the the realms of stuff out there. Yesterday was funny because I started my live feed and I had been listening to a podcast of Tim Pool, and to be honest, I was being annoyed. I was doing this job. A lot of the job is piecework. You guys know what piecework is all about. Piecework is like assembling signage. So you're doing a whole bunch of just repetitive pieces together, or I'm drilling post holes in the wall and putting lettering up, and so I'm doing this fairly. I've done it a lot of times, so it's not heavy on the brain work, and I wind up try to listen through some podcasts and stuff, and so I was listening to Tim Pool because he's like kind of middle of the road. I mean, the one side says he's the other side. That's what I'm looking for, if I'm gonna do listening to media. So I like to pick the guy that the one side hates him because he's too much like the other side, and then the other side hates him because he's too much like the one side. That's the most likely pick I'm gonna pick, because you get, you're getting you're getting an outsider perspective on both sides. I don't know. But it's not very fun to listen to that kind of media for me. It was fascinating and not boring during the crazy last couple of years we've had with, the crazy politics and the. But when I get around the people in my life and in my my personal world, I start to get this really mellow, effect where I don't have skin in the game enough on all this stuff going on. Well, I've got skin in the game. I'm a citizen of a country. I'm supposed to be informed, and I'm responsible for knowing stuff about things. And as a person who likes to learn, I don't always feel like I'm allowed to learn because we have the rise of big tech, which gives us the ability to do this, but also takes it away. and I haven't resolved to just be about skateboarding, but I have found that skateboarding is like a great arena in life to frame up relationships and experiences with people that can be rich in learnings from person to person. And I like to learn. Learning is a favorite thing of mine. So, but this morning I just wanted to jump on here for a few minutes and chew the fat, see if anyone was up. Looks like not many people are up, or of the 8 to 15 people who tune in, you guys are still snoozing. So I'll be leaving here about 8 o'clock this morning, and I'll be back sometime this afternoon, evening, and it'll be a day. It'll be a beautiful day. And yesterday psyched me out completely. Maybe one of the reasons I can't sleep is just this really volatile weather. Weather does that, and my body does what it does. But I'm stoked. I'm actually sitting here in the workshop with you, looking at this grip job that I did. And Life is going to do a lino cut of that graphic. We're going to do a lino cut. And I used really old grip tape, and I've got a spot here where there was a crease, and it's messed up. I'm going to probably pull that and redo it because I want it to be nice. I like my boards to stay clean while I use them. I don't mind if I bash the nose in on a board. I don't like to have the tail compromised, but if I bash the nose in trying wall rides, notice I said trying wall rides now. I'm older. Have I done frontside wall rides, like straight to the wall from the ground? Yes. But have I done them well enough to have been able to do them like I can do that? Not really. On like a Jersey barrier, I used to ollie frontside wall ride across it and come down. But it never was like, I was never super great at it. I was always throwing myself at it. But I was really still, but on a slanted wall, like when I get warmed up on a slanted wall, like any slant at all, I can stick to it backside and front side. My big problem right now is the Achilles tendon on my rear foot. That's a common repetitive stress injury for older skateboarders as we get heavier. And I am heavier. I have a scale in my bathroom that says I'm 220 pounds. That could be true, but that scale is super beat on. I should get on a good scale. Probably around 200. That's if I am 220, that's with clothes on. And my clothes include heavy steel-toed boots every day. I did a measurement with like how much my clothes weighed, and they weighed 10 pounds. But I don't feel bad. I feel good. I don't feel bad about how I look. I've been skinnier and plumper in my life, and that's not important. What's important is my Achilles tendon and my energy levels and things like that. Those are what are important to me, and those are feeling really good right now. when I go on a low carb diet. It's not keto exactly, it's low carb. I just stop eating sugar. I stop eating all the like filler. I have a big switch over to not being famished. I'll be like hungry, and I'm like, yeah, I'll eat in an hour, and then an hour later I won't be hungry because my body isn't like running the sugar dumps or like the carbohydrate dumps. And then when I eat just an absolute crap ton of vegetables, which have carbohydrates in them, but it's not this, anyway. So I eat like that, and I started on January 6th because from like November until January, I just ate all of the food, and I loved it. I love the season of feasting. I just believe in it, man. I just believe in eating the food, getting plump, laughing with friends and family. That's just super important. I tell you, if you're lonely or you have trouble with isolation, if you resolve to have someone over for dinner, like invite a few friends over and just feed them. I know if times are tight and money is tight, I do a potluck deal and just have people over. I know that we have COVID right now. I do. But if you've got people who are in your pod, maybe you live in an apartment building and you know that there's already cross-contaminations going on. If you've got that kind of thing, or maybe if COVID lets up as soon as you can, maybe that's the best way to frame this, because I really am not interested in barging the gates on the viral transmission deal. I'm not a person who's afraid of getting COVID-19. And I'm not a person who's afraid that my parents and friends will die. When one of my friends gets COVID, one of my friends got COVID this last week, I don't spiral into worry or fear about them dying. But I'm sympathetic if that is how you feel. And that's a tough feeling. And I am sad when they do, though, get sick. And I've had some people that have passed away. I've lived for decades just always thinking like none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. We're barely guaranteed this afternoon. No, actually we're not. We're not guaranteed this afternoon. So if I'm not guaranteed this afternoon, it doesn't make sense for me to choke my mind. And I understand that the compulsion to be afraid and the compulsion, the visceral reaction to this stuff can overwhelm these ideas. And you all know my peculiarity is I talk to Jesus every day, and I know that is why I have hope. And I also soak my head in the Christian scriptures, the Judeo-Christian scriptures. I really find the message of the scripture to be challenging, strengthening and weakening in all the right ways. It tears down my pride, and it connects me with the themes and the message that bring me hope beyond this seen world. So I know that for some of you, you might look at me as a guy who has like cheat codes, and others of you may look at me as a guy who has a crutch. I'd say it's a stretcher. I would go all the way. It might be a coffin, because in a way, I'm sort of already dead to it all. In a way, not in a way that kills my affection and my passion and my enjoyment. I really enjoy the comforts and good things of life. But my pride has been complete. Like, I definitely have plenty of arrogance and pride to go around, but my sense of certitude and my sense of self-importance have been tamed, have been touched, and to some degree mitigated by the message that I keep reading and thinking about and seeing played out around me a lot. So I get it. But if whether you are a believer in God, the hereafter, or whatever your religious or spiritual concept is, we could agree together today visceral fear reactions with that giant shot of cortisol into your bloodstream, that's not gonna do it. It's not. You will maybe not have to, but it would probably be a benefit to your life um, to get those reactions tamed, um, to get those reactions slowed down, and to slow down the fear response that we have when we find out that someone got sick, or we find out, and I don't know how you'll discover the way forward in doing that. um, I've shared my cheat codes, you know, but I didn't find my cheat codes by somebody um, giving me ultimatums or coercing me. I found what I've found without coercion and without, and so I am not interested in coerciveness, just in honestly sharing, you know, what I feel I've discovered in life and learning more as I go along. But this early morning, the thoughts of skateboarding, you know, it's this awesome time of year. It might not feel awesome to you because it's February in a lot of the country, unless you're really down toward the equator or you're on a current on the west side of the country. Your February is gray, starting to get light out longer. You know, you're starting to get some good stuff going on, but you know, we maybe can see winter starting to recede. Definitely in Cincinnati, we've got Kentucky weather. We're on the Mason-Dixon line, and it's I'll tell you, it's a far sight shorter winter than New York. New York will be, and Indiana, northern Indiana, will be cold until April, but the light is coming in. Days are getting longer. It's great if you can figure out your layers and shovel out and get some skateboarding in. I'm watching my news feed on Facebook, and I see lots and lots of older people who are skateboarding and grabbing that old flame and holding it high, and I get super stoked on it. I got home from the job yesterday. You know, I do a couple of these a month, not an everyday thing by any stretch, and mostly because I really enjoy working with the guy who's the boss. And it's nice to take a trip and do some signage and then come home, back to the workshop here. And I brought my board with me, and the parking lots were completely wet because the snow was melting off in Dayton, Ohio, an hour north of me, where it's a good sight colder up there, like 5-degree difference. It's a big difference, but it was 50. It was 48. We're standing out in my shirt sleeves. I couldn't believe it. It was wonderful. I had a great day. I know you probably know because you probably watched it, what I posted yesterday. But I had also slept really well. This night, I didn't sleep very well. I woke up very early. Not rare. I don't have trouble sleeping. I just don't sleep when I wake up. Drink some coffee, and get ready for a beautiful day out there in the wide world. It can be terrifying, can't it? Do you ever wake up and you're just terrified to do this day, and you're just like, oh man, you know, bad things happened in the past and they're stuck to the present, and you're just having trouble making that break and having a fresh start day? I have had many problems with that, but I've had the blessing of a lot of resolution to some tensions in my life. One of them is my work in skateboarding. You know, how am I going to, you know, when June, end of May 2019, I said, okay, I'm going to mothball my operation. I'm going to shut down my brand, and I'm going to take a step back. I had lots of really cool accomplishments, lots of really great relationships. I had some outstanding commitments that stood for a long time, and I had gotten really frozen up. I was in a complete state of block, and I wasn't a mess though. I wasn't falling apart in my family, in my life, in my relationships day to day. I was falling apart in my work and in my business, and I was accepting that you're broken. You're broken. You can't accomplish this work. My hands would shake. I was very, very angry. That was one of the dynamics. I had a lot of anger that I was working through. And I was also very frustrated. I had been banging my head again. Oh, that's anger too. Lots of anger, lots of disappointment, lots of, also strategically, I had hit a point that really needed perspective that I didn't have. Perspective beyond my years was necessary, and there was nobody who'd been here before in my life. There are certainly people who've been here before, entrepreneurs I think I have good ideas. Entrepreneurs with good ideas who had to navigate these things. One thing I would say to my older self back in 2014, 15, is once I pissed off the industry and once I pissed off the retailers around me and I didn't actually do anything that there was any right for anyone to be pissed about. Making a quality product and so saying is not a reason for people to, but once I got controversialized, that's what happened, is they declared me controversial. I'm not mad about this today. This is just some of the water that flowed under that bridge. But once you're controversialized, once someone declares that you're controversial because you represent some contrast, there's very little that you can do from that point forward without a pivot. You'll have to pivot down a level to a deeper level of I guess, since we're talking about business and branding, you have to pivot down and deeper in influence. You'll have to pick a deeper level that's less seen. You'll have to dig for bedrock. That's what it's like. It's like you'll have to dig for bedrock and work out some deeper funding. So for me, what that meant, and it took me too long to figure, it took 5 years or 4 years for me to figure out, was shut down the brand, stop. I lost local market, so shut down the brand and let it go and focus on. But during those 4 years, I developed the things like my relationship with Sam Cooke. Sam figured out how to make skateboards. He didn't learn how from me. He was already a master woodworker, master craftsman with a big workshop. He'd run a skate shop for a long time. He was already neck deep in skateboarding, the love of skateboarding, and a vision for how skateboarding can be life-giving and helpful to people. Sam comes from a background of recovery from addiction, and so we were friends and buddies. He saw things eye to eye with me on so many of the things that were going on. But those relationships had to happen during the 4 years that I would have told myself to miss out on. I just can't complain about the retrospective. There's this story in the Bible about Joseph, who had a coat of many colors, and his brothers hated him. And at the end of the story, he turns to his brothers who did him wrong, and he says, what you meant for evil, God intended for good. And it just blows my mind. In fact, it's hard for me to read that story of Joseph because it just tells me, you are going to get served up many plates of just shit in your life. And this story in the Bible, Joseph and the coat of many colors, he's the son of Jacob. This story tells me that that's a certified authentic way of living, being served up heavy plates. And at the end of it all, I can actually look back and go, what men meant for evil, God intended for good. That's super intense. I am not putting that on you. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that. Anyway, but that's a story in the Bible that blows my mind, and it stretches my heart, because when I read that story, I'm like, whoa, I am in for the business, man. So when I shut everything down this last year and a half, just my friendship with Sam and all of our conversations about, I needed that time to convolate my mind. And my mind convoluted, just like Jack White promised. If I walk the streets now, I can convolate my mind, and my mind reconvolated, and we saw coming into focus that, hey, you know, Sam built presses. He's been pressing for like 5 or 6 years, and I'd been pressing for like 10 years, 11, and Sam was he had already offered to buy presses from me, molds. Way back in 2019, he was like, "Can I buy your molds?" And I was like, "No, dude, those are like super precious." But as Sam and I had walked for so many years together in board making and helping start the Makers Movement group, and Sam's fiery. He's a man of conviction, and he shares his mind, and he's got some opinions that are not shared by everyone, and I love it. I have many of the same opinions, and I love his fire. I love his conviction. And but Sam's not like a communicator guy. I'm a communicator guy, and we're just a great team. And he's one of the hardest working dudes I know. And so this year, I guess it's been almost 2 years now. It's going on 2 years this June 1st that I shut down my brand work. And the development since then has just been sick. So I have a lot to be happy about this February, as the days are starting to get longer, and we're catching a few warm days here and there. And we're shaking off what happened in Texas right now. A lot of my friends in Texas, you know, and we've got COVID going on. It's a great time to maximize the positive. It's a good time to make plans for when it gets warm. A lot of us are, man, if you're having a hard time, please hang in there and pick little things and work the little things, guys. It's going to be little things. I'm so sorry for those of you who are going through stuff. I'm gonna conclude this time of sharing. It was up at 2:30 a.m. Sleep is done. I'll sleep when I'm dead, I guess. And gonna go do a job today. I might do a road note or two, but I'll be back in the saddle. I'll be fixing up this one. I haven't checked the weather this week, but I'll be hooking this one up with trucks and wheels and doing low level stunt work on this one here this week, and playing around. But you know, I hope that you enjoy this day and that you can enjoy being alive. I hope your contemplations of life and death and faith and the philosophy of living are fruitful. And I am grateful if you find this broadcast and enjoy it, or if you find this broadcast and do not. I'm grateful that you found me for a second, and we will. I'll just keep doing these until I figure out what I'm doing. Thanks, friends. Have a great day.